Welcome to this videocast about how to structure and present your own videocasts to support global health research. My name is Dana Thompson, and I'm part of the Global Health Research Corps. We support a partnership between Harvard Medical School, Partners in Health, and Brigham and Women's Hospital. Our team is comprised of epidemiologists, biostatisticians, statistical programmers, and other global health analysts who support global health research activities across the partnership by helping with study designs, collecting and analyzing data, summarizing and publishing that data, and also teaching and helping out with grant applications. In this presentation, I'm going to present 8 tips about how to structure and present your videocast so that it is both informative and engaging. Limit the length of your video to 10 minutes or less, and there's a couple reasons for this. First of all, the people who come to this website have very limited time. They're busy practitioners, policymakers, researchers, and they're usually trying to solve a very specific question. Also, many of our viewers are connecting with very slow internet connections, so the shorter and more concise you make your video, the better. The human brain is wired to listen to conversations, engage in conversations. So the more conversational you can make your videocast, the more likely your viewer is going to stay with you. This means don't prepare and read a script. It's going to be very tempting to do this at first, but I promise you that your video will come out worlds better if you just make a couple of speaking notes and imagine that you're talking to someone else, or actually get someone else in the room and speak more free form. A conversational tone is not one that's monotone, that's boring to listen to. Have inflection and melody in your voice. When you're giving a presentation to an audience, to someone who's in the room with you, or you're talking to someone one-on-one, don't you ask questions regularly of them and engage them by checking in with them? Well, do that with your audience during the videocast as well. They're going to appreciate it. And if you're a fun person and you can incorporate humor into your presentation, that always earns brownie points. This means that making mistakes in your sentences, not finishing your sentences, stumbling over your own words, mistyping, these are all things that happen in normal conversation. And so it's okay to have some of that in your video. It's actually going to keep your audience engaged. While you're speaking conversationally, it's also important to speak slowly and clearly. And this might be really difficult to do at the same time. It's important to speak slowly and clearly so that you're understood by the audience. We're also going to be dictating these audio tracks so that the content from your presentation will be searchable in Google or on the website online. And it's worth noting, some of our viewers want to watch these videos in double time, meaning that they're very time-constrained people. They want some quick information, and they're going to watch the video rapidly so that they can get a quick impression of what they need to do or a new idea. We also have viewers who want to watch these videos in half time. And the reason for that is they might not speak English as a first language, or this is just totally new content. And so they're going to slow down the video. And the more metered you are, and the more slowly and clearly that you speak, it'll be easier for these viewers. I recommend using a very simple approach to making these videos, just a screen capture with a voiceover. There are a number of programs out there that allow a screen capture of your desktop, but also show a video of you in the corner while you're talking. And this is incredibly distracting, first of all, because our brain can't process both of these things at the same time. But it also makes for really difficult editing, because in the approach that I'm taking right now, I'm able to cut out huge chunks of audio where there's silence or where I made a mistake, and I don't have to worry about syncing up to my face. So it looks seamless even though it's not. This brings me to my next point, which is that you want to edit out major mistakes or silences. You can start a sentence, you can go on a tangent, you can stumble over your words, and all you have to do is give yourself a moment, pause, and start over again, and then just edit out the section that you don't want to keep. You are going to want to invest in a decent microphone and recording package like Camtasia, which is what I'm using right now to record this video, because you don't want to go through all the effort of making a beautiful presentation and putting a lot of thought into how you're going to present it and what you're going to say, and then have the audio or video be difficult for the viewer to watch, because they're just not going to watch it if they have to strain to hear you or if they can't see what you're doing on the screen. You can imagine that a videocast is essentially the cliff notes to a whole lecture. It's just the highlights that you're going to bullet point verbally. How exactly do you do this? Well, if you're going to tell a story, usually a story starts with some opening scene or some setting, and then you build up to some climax right at the end of the story. You might also take a scientific or legal approach. You make a claim, and then you support it with specific evidence and examples, and that's what I'm doing right now. Planning and recording your first video cast is probably going to be difficult, especially if you're a person that usually talks for an hour or two at a time as a lecturer in a classroom. It might be difficult to think about how to carve up your content in these short little pieces. For you, I recommend checking out TED Talks. They do a really good job at taking a really big idea or a really big story and breaking it down into something that's very short and engaging. Keep in mind, these guys have been coached for a while and they've had a lot of practice before they perform their story, so you probably won't come across as polished. That's not the point of a video cast, but the point is to be very concise, and this is a good example of what a concise presentation looks like and sounds like. And as an argument or as a story, this video really needs to stand on its own. So if you're taking a much larger lecture and you're breaking it into smaller pieces, each of your videos probably should have a 1 or 2 sentence setting the context about what you're going to be speaking about in that video. Finally, prepare a general outline about what you're going to say before you record one of these videos, and actually run through it once or twice. But once you've done it once or twice, just start recording, and any time that you make a mistake, pause for a second and then start your sentence over again. The speaking notes will help you stay concise and on point, but they shouldn't be what you read during your entire video. If you're going to be demonstrating something on your computer where you're going to save a file or import a file, I recommend running through the whole thing once so that you can actually navigate to all the right folders ahead of time. There's a number of ways that you can prepare notes for recording a video cast. Here's just one recommendation if you want something to get started. On the left is images or actions that will be occurring on the screen, and on the right are the speaking notes that you'll be saying simultaneously. Well, that about wraps it up. In summary, you're looking to make a video that's 10 minutes or less, where you use a conversational, slow, clear voice. Do a simple screen capture with a voiceover and edit out your mistakes. Make sure that you use a good microphone and a decent piece of software. And just structure your video cast around a story or an argument and use speaker notes instead of a script. All right, you're ready to start recording.